Following an election very much in dispute, Alexander Lukashenko was sworn in for another term in an inauguration ceremony that was not announced. The reason for so much secrecy? To prevent tens of thousands of protesters from mobilizing and bringing the city to a standstill, as happened the Sunday after the inauguration. Now, among the protesters, the realization is starting to sink in that this is a battle for the long haul. Their hopes of forcing Lukashenko from power have collided with the tight control the long-time leader still has over Belarus' security apparatus. Still, the protesters are undeterred.
There will be some kind of dialogue, but I am sure that we will remove him from power because the country has risen against him, and that is impossible to ignore.
Our only choice is to get more and more people to join us, to take our side. That people can make their choice, not a dictator, but the good people of Belarus.
The president has made it clear he will not engage in dialogue with the protesters. Instead, he insults them, calling them drug addicts, alcoholics and rats. As those in power see it, the protesters are remotely controlled by foreign powers.
We
can affirm without fear that Belarus is now, for the first time in its history, in a scenario of a colour revolution, organised by foreign forces and coordinated by Lithuania and Poland.
The conflict between the opposition and Lukashenko is playing out on the global stage. Many Western countries refuse to recognise him as the legitimate president, while Russia supports him. But support from a powerful neighbour, analysts say, can also come with pressure and present questions of sovereignty for a small state like Belarus.
We have to ask a question. If we have such an imbalance, what is required from us by the Russian Federation? Complete obedience? To transform Belarus into a puppet or a protectorate instead of setting up a union with equal rights? That is the question.
For the protesters on the streets of Minsk, what has happened in the last several weeks is only the beginning of an unstoppable process.
Just 2 months ago, we could not imagine that this would happen, that so many people would take to the streets. That's why I think we should continue like this, go out onto the streets to show our disagreement.
A new stage of the conflict in Belarus is now beginning. On the one hand, the opposition will seek to erode Lukashenko's power with regular protests in the streets and with the help of international pressure. On the other, the government hopes that the work of its security forces, along with protester fatigue, may eventually cause the opposition's efforts to lose momentum. For Ricardo Marquina in Minsk, I'm John Spear, VOA News.